After 16 long years of tireless pursuit, sleepless nights for our agencies, relentless diplomacy across continents, India has finally nailed the man who played one of the darkest roles in the November 2008 terror attacks on Mumbai. Tahawwur Hussain Rana, the shadowy facilitator, the quiet planner, the man who wore a businessman suit while handing over India's maps to Pakistan's terror syndicate, has been extradited to India and he's on his way to India. This is not just an extradition. This is India showing the world that we do not forgive, we do not forget, and we get them no matter how far they run. This is a masterclass in diplomacy under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and as he lands, the state rises in action. We can confirm on this newscast that the Delhi Police's NAV team, which is the elite force tasked with ferrying high-risk under trials, has been ordered to station its personnel at the airport. This won't just be an escort. They will shield, they will surround, and they will also ensure Rana, who is India's prized catch, is treated like one. A jail van flanked by armed pilot escorts is also positioned on the tarmac. Every inch of the route from the airport to the interrogation facility is being monitored. We are also getting information from top sources that there are going to be decoy vans, that is, dummy vehicles will be used, because Rana won't just be moved, he will be protected, he will be masked, and he will also be shadow lifted under a curtain of tactical deception. There are SWAT commandos who are deployed at the arrival terminal. They know that they have to be ready and they have to be on all their guard. Their eyes are trained. Why? Once again, because Tahawwur Rana, not just a high-profile prisoner, not like any other man. He is the living, breathing confession of Pakistan's terror policy. And this is why, late last evening, as per top sources, the highest security brass of India sat in one room. That's the latest information we are getting as per sources. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, India's sharpest minds, they sat together for 25 crucial minutes discussing one operation. What happens when Tahawwur Rana steps off that aircraft? It's about security, it's about routing, it's about legal custody, it's about contingency drills, about surveillance sweeps. Every single detail has been discussed, has been planned, because there can be no error. And right now, as we speak, the NIA headquarters in Delhi is also looking like a fortress. There are barricades, there are emergency response teams who are present there. There's no entry that's happening without clearance, because Tahawwur Rana is being dragged back and he will help bolster India's case against terror state Pakistan. Now, my colleagues are going to join me with the latest information. We have Pradeep Datta, who's with us. We also have my other colleagues joining us. We also have our guests on this broadcast, where we're going to discuss what this means for India when it comes to nailing Pakistan and specifics about the role of ISI. Tahawwur Rana's extradition, now the trial that will follow, the questions that he will be asked, that will also help India expose the role of Pakistan. Why does all of this matter? Because Tahawwur Rana facilitated every move of David Headley. The maps, the routes, the visa, the paperwork, the hotel booking, everything was legitimized through Rana's fake immigration business. Now, Headley did not just walk into Mumbai. He walked in through Rana's door. He recceed Nariman House, the Taj, CST and Leopold Cafe in Mumbai under the business cover that Rana had provided him. And who did Rana take instructions from? From the Lashkar, from the ISI, from handlers who sat in Rawalpindi and plotted against India. This isn't just a conspiracy theory, it's all written in the NIA charge sheet, a charge sheet that has become the greatest nightmare of ISI puppets, because it has proof of everything the way it was planned. And for 16 years, Pakistan has been dodging, they have been disowning, they have been deflecting and lying. Now, as we get this proof in handcuffs on a plane heading to New Delhi, this is not just a victory. This is a moment of reckoning for every family that lit a candle in the memory of their lost one in 26/11 carnage. For every officer who fell that day in the line of duty, for every Indian who saw his or her nation burn and bleed. This is a reminder that India never gave up in its pursuit of justice. Priyank is joining us live. We have Pradeep Datta with us. We also have Sabyasachi. They'll be telling us all about the security detail and what has been planned. I also have our guests with us this morning, RSN Singh and Captain Alok Bansal. Thank you for patiently hearing on, but listen in to what this means for India, how India managed to get Tahawwur Rana.
Today I'm pleased to announce that my administration has approved the extradition of one of the plotters and one of the very evil people of the world, and having to do with the horrific 2008 Mumbai terrorist attack, to face justice in India. So he's going to be going back to India to face justice.
This very evil man will be facing justice in India. Priyank, Pradeep Datta and Sabyasachi live with us. I'm going across to Pradeep Datta, who has latest information on the security grid. Pradeep, what's the latest?
Yes, India is leaving no stone unturned to ensure that there should be a proper security. Reason being that he is one of the high-profile ISI asset who Pakistan had been preventing him for so long. They had been trying to shield him for all these 16 years so that he should not land into the hands of the Indian agencies. We have seen that they use all tricks of trade in their terror book because sometimes they made him play the victim card. Sometimes they said that he's suffering from Parkinson's disease. He will not be able to face trial. He will die in the custody. So they wanted to prevent him from coming out to India. So that's a big jolt for Pakistan, Pak proxies and inter-service intelligence, because they had been in complete denial mode, trying to deflect things, trying to prove a world that they had nothing to do with. But so far as the security is concerned, that Nyaik Abhilaksha Vahini has already been instructed that they should send their personnel to different terminals at airport. It's not clear on which terminal basically the aircraft is going to land, because everybody is tight-lipped about that. So they are trying to ensure that this thing is not leaked. And the second thing is that already there is a jail van that will be at the airport also, and it will be escorted properly. Besides this, we have seen the SWAT team is also there, and additional reinforcement to the police personnel had been here since morning, because we had been interacting with them. They said that all we were told that you have to reach this particular terminal and to ensure the security, because after all he is a high-profile ISI asset.
Yes, and let me take that to Priyank, who's also standing by outside the NIA headquarters. Pradeep, Priyank, take us to what you're seeing around the NIA headquarters. We have information that security has been stepped up outside the NIA headquarters as well.
Yesterday, Sagadika, the NIA headquarters has been barricaded by the Delhi police because they will be providing the outer periphery security of this particular area. But the legal, step is going to be most important thing, because what we got to know that yesterday around 4:30, the Ministry of Law has given approval to the NIA to continue the trial of 2611 attack case here in the national capital. Over the period of last 2 months, what we were tracking was a series of applications which were moved by the National Investigating Agency before the special NIA court, which is Patiala House Court here in the national capital, so that all those files and the case document related to these case, which is RC number 4 of the NIA, should be brought back to the national capital. So before Tahawwur Rana could have been brought here to Delhi, his detail and all the case details have been brought here at Patiala House Court. Once he is brought here, obviously on paper he will be shown arrest by the National Investigating Agency, and then in the due process the NIA will try to seek police remand for approximately 30 days, because this is a section of UAPA. So several things are going to happen here, but the legal battle is certainly very important.
Yes, the legal battle becomes the focus at this point of time, Priyank, and as you break down those details, let me also take this across to Sabyasachi, who's joining in from the Palam Airport. Sabyasachi, also take us through what you're seeing around you. Today is all about top-tier security, because Tahawwur Rana's security becomes #1 priority for the government as well. Take us through what you're seeing around you.
Well, that's right. We are reporting from the Palam Technical Air Base. On your screen, you can see that they have barricaded part of the road. In fact, they are not allowing any media personnel to stand close to 50 meters of the entry and exit gate. This is the main gate from which the entry and exit happens, and the Tahawwur Rana, along with the NIA officials, most likely to land at the Palam Air Base, where the arrest memo would be read to him. him, and from this particular gate, he would be taken to the NIA office. Meanwhile, the security here, the internal security here is on a high alert mode. They are not letting anyone to stand near 50 meters off the main gate at the Palam Air Base.
Okay, so we're getting you a sense of what the security is looking like today in the national capital. Joining us this morning, RSN Singh and Captain Alok Bansal. Thank you so much for patiently waiting by. RSN Singh, how are you looking at this development? Tahawwur Rana being brought back. What does this mean for India in the fight against Pak-backed terror? What does this mean for India as it promises to ensure justice for the victims of 26/11?
Good morning. I know today I read a comment from the ex-Home Secretary, Mr. G.K. Pillai, saying that, Rana is nowhere, as important as David Headley. I don't think so. I think the truth is the reverse. Rana was the mastermind. He was the one who was, selecting targets. He had traveled extensively in India with his wife. He was the one who was linked both with the ISI and the Pakistan Army. Remember, he served in Pakistan Army as a doctor. So he knows the entire, this entire macro. He has the entire macro level picture. And he has teamed up with Headley not once, even in 2009, that attack when they're planning this attack on this Danish newspaper, in Copenhagen. I think its name was Jylanda Posten, something like that. I don't know how you pronounce it. But if I may tell you that in the history of the world, this would rate as one of the biggest conspiracies. Conspiracy to the extent that in your entire war room, that is Ministry of Home, which should have handled this, which was to handle this 26/11, was in Pakistan, ma'am, incommunicado. And Shah Mahmood Qureshi, who was the foreign minister, he was here in India. And Satyabrat Pal, who was also the High Commissioner in Pakistan, he was also here. And he was on a visit here, but Pranab Mukherjee, who was the foreign minister at that time, probably he felt there was something, and that is why he never hosted this Qureshi for dinner against the protocol. And then 26/11 takes place. That is the time, that evening. Then there was a dinner in, Shahid Malik's house, who was the India's High Commissioner, Pakistan's High Commissioner to India. In that dinner, Shiv Shankar Menon and also were present. When this attack was taking place, Qureshi was giving, an interview to Suhasini Haider. And after the attack, ma'am, he never cancelled his visit, by the way.
Okay.
He was to persist with his program to visit to Jaipur, Agra and this thing.
We want to know from you, what do you think Rana being extradited, being brought to India, does it spell trouble, one, for ISI, and two, for also those in the ISI, those state actors who are behind the 26/11 conspiracy?
You're asking me?
Yes.
No, ISI we know. When Qureshi was addressing this women press corps here, he got a call, from Kiani that, Zardari had offered that Shuja Pasha will come and investigate. And he got a shut-up call. So we know all the ISI's involvement.
Okay, let me also bring it.
But Tahawwur Rana would be able to tell you that I am more interested that who were the people in India who were involved.
Okay.
And it was at a big scale, ma'am.
Big one.
It was at a massive scale.
That's a very significant comment you're making there, RSN Singh. Let me bring in Captain Alok Bansal. Captain Alok Bansal, many are saying this is a huge diplomatic victory for India, and undoubtedly it is. In your assessment, what do you think this would mean? What next for the victims of 26/11 now that we are getting Tahawwur Rana?
See, firstly, it is undoubtedly a great diplomatic victory for India because any other time, any other regime, probably we would have never succeeded in getting Tahawwur Rana back to India. That itself shows India's stature in the global community, that we have managed to impress upon the Western world to extradite somebody like Tahawwur Rana. It also shows a meticulous planning, because Tahawwur tried every trick under the sun to delay or to avoid getting extradited. He went on appeals after appeals after appeals, and he could still be brought in. Why it is important is, as my colleague RSN said very clearly, that Tahawwur was an army officer. He was a captain in the Pakistan Medical Corps. He served there, went to Canada, probably sent there with a plan, because he was in the army. He was sent to Canada, settled there. From there he moved to US, where he again purchased property. He had properties in US as well as in Canada. Of course, Pakistan he must have been having. So it was a long-term plan that was hatched. And his coming here, his being brought in here, will help us to fill in the gaps which existed as far as the probe of this dastardly act was concerned. More importantly, it will reveal the hands of people who, either due to complicity or omission, were guilty of having allowed this dastardly act in India, because there were components who either willingly or unwillingly probably provided help to these people. Also, it would build up our case as far as ISI's involvement is concerned, because it will tell who in ISI were involved in this, who was the officer who was handling, what was the conspiracy, when was the discussion taking place. All these facts will come out, and that will reveal, that will make our case in the international community stronger. Our years which we have given, Pakistan has not really taken any cognizance of it. But at this point of time, when Pakistan is economically very vulnerable, this sort of revolution in the Western world will put immense pressure on Pakistan, because please understand, with Trump's tariffs, Pakistan's main export commodities are under immense pressure, that is the apparel and textiles. And the European Union, which provides its GSP plus status, if it can be told that Pakistan is a state sponsor of terrorism.
So the pressure is going to be building on Pakistan. India's case will be bolstered. There will also be a lot of global pressure. Maruf Raza, strategic affairs expert, also joining us in this morning. Good morning, Maruf. I would like to ask you about, are you also seeing, one, it's a diplomatic victory. Number two, we spoke about the kind of security that is in place today. But are there going to be some challenges before the NIA, which is now going to be interrogating, which will be putting Tahawwur Rana on trial? And also, will this help India get the big fish?
Well, it's a very long and a good question. But what we need to understand, that as far as Pakistan is concerned, it is a master of smoke and mirror, and it is always good at avoiding the evidence that is tediously mounted by India against Pakistan, but Pakistan manages to get out of the loop. The second thing is that we need to put together a dossier of all the evidence that we have gathered meticulously over the years to show that Pakistan had a hand. I mean, a simple comment by Pakistan's ISI chief was that ये बंदे हमारे थे लेकिन ऑपरेशन हमारा नहीं था. That means that they had a role to play, and they are going to play a greater role again and again in this whole game, because Pakistan's strongest export element is terrorism. And they will want to use every trick in the book to try and show that Pakistan is a master of this game, at least in South Asia. And Rana has bought many a friends, many a connections who is going to allow them to continue to be under a shield where he is not going to give in very easily, because I'm sure all these years in US prisons, he would have built up friends and connections who would have been told that don't worry, we'll go that much further, but not enough. And we should not take unnecessary credit to just say that, you know, we've got Pakistan in the loop. Please remember that Pakistan has for years mastered the game of exposing its enemies, whereas not exposing those who are really its friends in arms in this game.
Absolutely. Only for the want of time, Maruf, I'll have to interject, and thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us in this morning. Tahawwur Rana is on his way to India. NIA teams are with him. Top-tier security is in place. Tahawwur Rana's extradition, what does this mean for the survivors of the deadly 26/11 attack? Before heading into a short break, listen into how they are feeling today. Is this giving them a sense of closure? Do they have more demands? Listen in.
9:49 पे मालूम पड़ा कि हुसैन सागर प्लेटफॉर्म छोड़ रही थी। तभी 9:50 को छूटती थी, प्लेटफॉर्म छोड़ रही थी। तभी मालूम पड़ा, मैं इंडिया और इंग्लैंड का मैच था, मेरे को पता भी नहीं था। आतंकवादी टीवी वगैरह में देखा, मूवी वगैरह में देखता, आतंकवादी ऐसा होता है। न तो वो कपड़ा डाला था, न तो कुछ डाला, बेखौफ गोली चला था, ज्यादा करके ऊपर चला रहा था। जब मेरे को गाली दिया पंजाबी लैंग्वेज में, तब मेरे को पता चला कि आतंकवादी है, कमांडो नहीं है। आज अमेरिका का सरकार को मैं शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूं, धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं ट्रम्प जी को, जो इतने बड़े मास्टरमाइंड को इंडिया भेज रहे हैं। लेकिन मैं कुछ सरकार से विनती करना चाहता हूं, माननीय कोर्ट उच्च न्यायालय से विनती करना चाहता हूं, राष्ट्रपति से विनती करना चाहता हूं कि आतंकवादी के लिए कुछ चेंजिंग होना चाहिए, कि वो देश का मेहमान नहीं है, कि उसको अच्छा से खातिरदारी हो। ज्यादा से ज्यादा 2 से 3 महीना में उसको सजा सुना दिया जाए, खेल खत्म करें।
जिस टाइम पे मैंने कामा हॉस्पिटल में, मेरी वाइफ प्रेग्नेंट थी, हम लोग कामा हॉस्पिटल में जाने के बाद, टैक्सी मार के जाने के बाद प्रेग्नेंट के और दूसरा माले पे लेके गया मेरी वाइफ को, और डिलीवरी होना था। इसने मैं मेडिकल जो बॉम्बे हॉस्पिटल जाके मेरे को दवाई लाने का था, मेडिसन। तो डॉक्टर ने बोला ये मेडिसन लेके आना। मैं जा रहा था, वो सीढ़ी से उतर के खुद के जा रहा था। इतने में फटकड़ा बज रहा था। मैंने क्या सोचा था, उस दिन इंडिया इंग्लैंड का मैच था, तो इंडिया जीत गई होगी, उसके लिए फटकड़ा बज रहा था। आतंकवादी तो सोचा नहीं था, कोई न कोई मारा जा रहा है। उसके लिए मैं भाग के रिटर्न गया, वो मैडम को और डॉक्टर लोग को सबको ऊपर लेके गया। पहला डिलीवरी कराओ मेरा वाइफ को, उसके बाद हम देखेंगे। फिर सब दरवाज़ा लगाने के लिए बोला, सब दवाखाने में, और मेरा वाइफ डॉक्टर को, सिस्टर को सब लेके जाके अंदर रखा मैंने।